Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the DIZPod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hello and welcome, everyone. We are here for another week, Lawrence, of the DIZPod. I mean, I don't know. Is this episode number 57?
59, 58, 59, somewhere in there.
Okay. Whenever I guess lower and you say higher, I'm all for that. Welcome, everyone who is watching live. We do it live because we do it for you and you only as we record this podcast tonight. And we want to thank everyone listening and watching on the rewatch thereafter. Definitely make sure you comment at the end. Comment all you want now live. Definitely comment after you hear the podcast because it really, really, really does help us out. And with this work right now, Lawrence, we are on Living in Diz, but the DIZPod is live on the channel. It would help us if you all jumped over to the DIZPod. Am I correct in saying that?
That is correct. I'll put the link in. Anybody watching on anywhere else, feel free to jump over to the DIZPod channel. I put the link in there. That will help us get the watch hours up on that channel so that it starts to get shared out more as we start to move the DIZPod over to its own channel. And if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to come over to the YouTube channel as well, because that will, like I said, certainly help us grow that channel for sure.
Yeah, so as we try to make that channel live on its own, we are trying to take everyone from every resource that has been following us and jump over there and subscribe, and eventually we'll be migrating, we'll be bringing it over there for good, and it won't air on Living in Diz. So, yeah, that'll be a good thing. And so how have you been, my friend? We haven't talked, I think, since the last time.
Oh my gosh, it's been crazy with the new position. Last day of the month, trying to get some homes sold today. So it has been non-stop. I think I grew about 5 gray hairs, which is why I'm clean shaven, so you don't see them. So it is, but it has been good. Lots of news coming out today from both parks down there. So it was coming at us fast and furious this morning.
We like when that happens.
Yeah.
We like that,
Yeah.
right? And it's funny, right? You get this rush of news, and it's like, okay, all right. Okay, well, that you're not going to talk about that in D23 then. So they've got to be holding on to something big. They've got to be.
Mm-hmm.
Don't underwhelm us Guess we'll get more into this later. Don't underwhelm us and just talk about what we already know.
Right.
We want more of that, but we need something new and fresh too to get really excited about.
I mean, blue sky is nice, but I would like something concrete.
Absolutely. Like, we are doing this.
Right.
Like, we're pretty sure we're going to get details on, Beyond Thunder Mountain at this point. We kind of know what we expect them to be, but we'd like definitive stuff about that. But then but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. So that would make it an epic one for sure.
Yeah.
But we've talked about that. They have to come out with something to wow the people, because we all know what they're doing down the street over there at Universal. They're doing something epic. No play on words. They're doing something epic over there, and they have to answer.
They keep dropping news. Although I thought I heard that there were a few people kind of upset with what they released today, that they expected more. But I thought it was good. So we'll see.
Well, they have me hinging on more details on that ride. They said it is going to be, a revolutionary ride, like something never done before, like that runaway elevator thing. So
yeah,
there's gonna be some crazy rides over there.
Well, it's like the Donkey Kong coaster. It jumps back, right?
Yeah.
Just keep releasing new things, and just that one little bit of something different will get people really excited. So, I think that Disney's working on some stuff that's revolutionary as well. So we'll see.
Yeah. So bit of LID news. I hit you with some breaking LID news earlier.
Yes.
So I haven't really gotten your feedback on that, but Tammy was driving the train on this one, so I had to listen.
Okay.
And we had a big talk about some changes, and we are going to move to. It can always go back, but we're going to move to. Normally we do 2 weekly streams and then 1, 2 weekly streams and then 1. We're going to trim it to 1 only every week and every Saturday. So our fall schedule might be something like every Wednesday, every Wednesday, every Saturday. And then fill that in with 2 vlogs, maybe a Monday and a Tuesday and then a Thursday. So the channel will have something almost every day, because we start Sunday with the Relive in Diz, as we're introducing our older streams. And then Monday could be a vlog. Tuesday, I forgot what I told you. There was something there too. And then, we'll do some shorts, but we'll do 2 vlogs, different than what we've been doing them. Like the cruise videos were brand new content, but when something happens in the park, something new, we're going to bring more of that to everybody. So, and a caveat to that is, with the new equipment that we're purchasing to do the vlogs to up the game, you all live will see Tammy a little bit more. She's like, I will take if we're in Magic and you have to do a vlog, I will take the live stream. You and Jacob go do the vlog and catch back up to me. So, 86 says, less Diz. No, we'll see how it goes. If anything, I might sprinkle in 1 Thursday, so you're only out 1. So we'll see. But there'll be more Diz with the vlogs, though, for sure.
You never know.
Life is getting way too busy at night. I have a waiting list now. I'm a massage therapist and a trainer, and I'm getting way more business than I can handle. So,
I was going to say I could sprinkle in a home stream every now and then that they didn't expect. So,
okay, that'd be cool. Maybe even me too. Pop on for a couple hours or something like that. So, work in progress. We'll see how it goes. I love editing. I love vlogging. It'll be fun to get back to our roots a little bit more and see how it goes. If it doesn't work out great, I don't know. We'll see. And Jacob's going to take that equipment to Japan too. So we're going to get a lot more out of him than we expected when he goes to Japan.
Nice. So, very nice.
Sounds like a great plan, says Pamela. Good variety. Yes, I'm excited about it. So we'll see. No, we need you in Disney, says Neil. Maybe we'll go from the park. Oh, it's time, Neil. Oh. It's time then. One of those days of the week, then it's time to go get that iPhone. What are you waiting for? Go get that iPhone.
See, you might see, folks, you thought you were getting less and you're going to get more.
Yeah. There's going to be some videos and all that stuff. And Like I said, it might only be one. Might only be one Thursday. We'll see how my schedule works out. I love you guys. I can't stay away. So why are we wearing scrubs today, Lawrence? I wore scrubs all day, and I came home and I got to change into my Peter Pan scrubs. Thanks to wardrobe. Thank you.
It's funny. This is the first time I've ever worn scrubs. You've worn them for years and years, but I don't.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
I don't think
they're not comfortable, right? They're very boxy.
They're a little boxy, but these are nice and soft. So I don't know about because you have a different material, the ones you wear.
Well, this is a little flexible. It's a little bit better than the ones I wear, which are non-flexible and just very stiff.
Yeah.
You know, Neil says soon enough. Thank you for those congratulations, Pamela. You can blame Lily's life a little bit for putting out more vlogs with new equipment. I bought your camera, so we're gonna go to town with that. I like the quality. Did some research, so yes. Ann says give it a shot and add Neil's streams. Vlogs are great too.
So why are we wearing scrubs tonight, folks? Because the doctor is in the house. Dr. Disney himself is here. I don't know how we luck out on this. You know, we've talked about the Summer of Diz this year. It's just been epic in getting so many great guests, and this is certainly going to be another one of those great shows. And it just happens to fall on a day where there was a ton of news out there to talk about. So we are excited to discuss all of that with him for sure.
Yes. And I haven't been able to really talk with him yet. So this is going to be fun. I feel like already he'll be someone who will want to come back, and we'll want him to come back.
Yes.
A friend of the pod.
Yes. All right. So without further ado, let me bring him in here. Hello.
Hi, fellas. How are you doing?
Doing great. Well. Welcome.
I really appreciate y'all having me. It's very kind of y'all, and I just feel honored to be asked on the show. And I know how many loyal followers y'all have, and I've watched some of your shows, and it truly is my privilege. So I really appreciate this very much.
Well, thank you. The honor is ours as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I told him when I reached out to him that one of the biggest reasons is because I'm on his Facebook page, and I can count on Dr. Disney for news. There's not a lot of fluff there. There's not a lot of opinion. It's just straight up news, and it's timely as well, which is always good. So how did you start the page? Was the website first? Which came first?
It actually was the page. Excuse me. I started it in May of 2011, and I was still living in New Orleans at the time. And it was right around that time that I honestly came home from the job that I had at the time. And that's where I was from, born and raised. And I told my family, it was like Mother's Day, I think it was. And I sat down with them at a gathering, and I said, I'm moving to Orlando by the end of the year. And my mom's just like, what? And I'm like, I've got to do something different. And so I then went home. I had no real idea what I was doing, but I was like, let me build a page. I'll, put some stuff on it, just see how it does. Social media was there, but not huge at the time. And so I just started it. And then I moved in December of 2011 to Orlando. And that's when I had just about finished building the site. And since then, it's just been, it's slowly built over time. I tried to get my bearings, tried to learn what I was doing. And I started to learn that at the time, we were one of the first pages that would actually just post live while we were in the parks. And I started saying, well, this is something everybody does. And I'm like, it just makes sense. Oh, look, we're at Magic Kingdom today. Let's post that we're going on Haunted Mansion or Pirates. And I started looking around at all the others that were there at the time. And I'm like, I don't see this being done much. And I think that's what started drawing people in at the start was, hey, they're there right now. Live streaming wasn't really a thing then, but posting pictures from the moment we were there was. And I'm like, it seemed to work. And I'll tell you, my wife, Stacy, it was one day she happened to be out of town, and she called me and she said, hey, I think they're getting ready to do something over at Magic Kingdom. And I said, what do you mean? She literally just said, I don't know. I just think I have a feeling. And I said, okay. So I got up and I went over there, and it was right when New Fantasyland was being built. And I walked over there, and within about 20 minutes, they moved the hedges and let us into by the new Dumbo and Casey's train, the splash area, and all of that stuff. And we were like the first people there. We were the first people getting pictures, and stuff started getting shared. And I'm like, people really do love this stuff. So it just went from there. And that was the true start, was that day we made it over there for the soft opening of New Fantasyland. And we've just been doing it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something we love to do. And we've got to adjust with the times. Like, I mean, I know that people are on TikTok. I know that people are all over Instagram, and that live streaming is a thing. And we're trying to get into some of those things, but we're also still doing what works. And it's just, people want to know if there's something newsworthy happening. Like you said, we'll post it. I mean, and we're on top of it. We have every alert set. We have, press connections with Disney and Universal and Disney Cruise Line and others. And it's like, why wait? I mean, I know everybody's going to get it up at once, but if you have your following, if you have the people that, I hate to say, are loyal to you, but that respect you and what you do, they're going to stick with you, even if 35 other people are posting it at the same time.
Right.
So it's just what we do. And we'd love to avoid the negativity. We love to be honest, and we're going to always tell people what we think, even if it's just, hey, we didn't like that new dish, or the ride wasn't what I was expected. But when it comes to news, that's non-opinion based. It should be. It's journalism 101.
Exactly. And Corey and I have talked about this a lot. We don't talk about it a lot on the show, but offline we talk about it quite a bit. That that's one thing that we've tried to stick to as well. Is we're going to give you the news. I mean, we're a podcast, so we're going to be somewhat opinionated, but not the whole shock value, that type of thing. It's just people rely on most of us outlets for news, and you can sprinkle in your thoughts here and there, but to be overly opinionated just doesn't work for us. So I certainly like outlets like yours that are that way as well.
I appreciate that. I mean, and I guess what I also look at is Stacy and I always think of this way, is that, how do I put this? People are going to rely on social media. They're going to rely on the internet. They're going to rely on websites to give them information. I understand that. That's just common sense. But when it comes to stuff like Disney World or Universal or any cruise line or anything, they're going to take information as word. Yes, they should do their own research. Yes, they should look to their experts like travel agents and such as that. But when we report it, if we don't give them the proper information, or we're telling them something that may be a joke or a falsehood or something, somebody may plan an entire trip around something that you've said. And then, excuse me, if I gave someone knowingly wrong information, they planned a trip, they spent all this money, they went somewhere anticipating something, and then it either didn't happen or was never going to happen. I don't want that responsibility. That's not something I want on my shoulders, but I would just feel awful because I've misled these people.
Yeah.
And I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you build up to deciding to do the page? Like you said, you were in New Orleans. Were you a huge Disney fan at that point, or were you more into journalism? Like what fueled that?
Well, my family, there's 6 of us. My mom, my dad, I have 3 older sisters, and our entire lives, my parents worked tirelessly to give us everything they could. But I mean, it was 4 kids growing up, but like every year we went on a big trip, and it was always Disney. Every single year it was just like clockwork, and they worked so hard to get us there because there's so many of us, and we just grew up on it. We've watched it grow from, I was born in 1979. So I watched it grow from when it was just Magic Kingdom into all the parks growing, the water parks, everything like that. So we've always been huge Disney fans. And it's just something that we've loved, and I always knew everything about it. And in school, I was known as the kid who went to Disney. So if they had questions, they would ask me. And oddly enough, excuse me again, I actually was a sports reporter at the time. And I had started out in freelance just after Katrina as a movie reporter for a friend of mine. He had a site and he'd asked me to review movies and DVDs. And I didn't have anything to do because Katrina had taken everything from us and just there were no opportunities. So I helped him out and I started doing that. So then when I started learning of these freelance websites, I started applying to those and I realized there was a little bit of money to be made. I was like, okay, I'll do this on the side. And as time went on, I started focusing on sports and I started getting gigs from ESPN.com, CBS Sports, and it was just something I truly loved. And it was like a dream come true to me. And they started sending me to the Super Bowl and they'd send me to WrestleMania. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting paid and being sent to these places. But it helped along with what I wanted to do with Disney and the website because it gave me the practice I needed to learn how to write in an even better fashion, deliver news to people the way they wanted it and everything. So it's like, it was just like a perfect storm of everything coming together. My love for Disney, what I happened to be doing with sports reporting at the time. And I was still doing sports reporting, honestly, up until the pandemic. And like you talked about a few minutes ago, you all said about shock value. What I didn't like during the pandemic was that I know things had to change, but even unbiased sports reporting, giving the news of this is how a game went down, here are the results, turned into a clickbait title, turned into something that wasn't focused on the sports or the athletes. And that's when I got out of it because I just couldn't live that life anymore, no matter what the content was. And so then the focus went to travel and solid Disney and Universal and the like. And we've now built our lives around what we do now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you, so obviously you went as a kid to Disney World only, or did you do Disneyland as a kid too?
I did not do Disneyland for the first time ever until 2011.
Okay.
I went to D23 with some friends of mine and some writing friends, actually, some reporter friends. And we went out there and I experienced it for the first time ever then. I had never been to California, period. And so since then, it's been just really kind of like we've gone probably my wife and I, and even friends of ours or conferences 5 or 6 times in the last like few years. And we went to another D23. I believe that was in 2017. And it's just, I love Disneyland. Absolutely. Have y'all been?
No, neither.
Neither one of you have? Okay. Well, I'll tell you, as a person who grew up in Walt Disney World, I absolutely love everything about it. But if I could deal with California way of living and you could give me Epcot over there, I may move out west. But it's a lot. California isn't an entity all its own, but Disneyland is just a simply amazing place.
Yeah. I'm hoping to go next year for sure. And have you done the international parks?
I have not.
Okay.
I will say I've never, other than where I've gone on cruises, I've never gone outside of the U.S. But I mean, I hadn't cruised for the first time until I met my wife. So I didn't even have an interest in that. And she was like, she always tells me, she goes, I still can't believe that you never did a Disney cruise. And I was like, I just never looked at cruising. It wasn't just something that I thought anything about. And now I'm addicted to them completely.
Yeah. I was going to say, Corey's about the same way. Yeah. All right. You're muted, Corey.
I know what you mean. Oh, geez, I was muted for a bit there. Yeah, I know what you mean. We just did our first cruise last month and absolutely fell in love with it. The family, I have a daughter and a son and my wife, and we all loved it. 100%. We had no complaints at all about the Royal Caribbean trip we took on Allure of the Seas. It was a 4-nighter and can't wait to do it again.
That's awesome. I mean, and like people always, people, of course, due to the name, associate us with Disney because that's where we started, was Disney centric. But We have branched out. We left the name because that's where people know us, but then that's fine. But people know we go to Universal and everything. And we just got off Utopia of the Seas on Friday. And
Ooh.
yeah, I mean, Royal is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. They do it upright. It is a different experience than Disney, but it doesn't make one better than the other. They're just both unique in their own ways and both enjoyable. And we have no complaints about any Disney sailings we've done, any Royal sailings we've done. We've loved them both.
What would be your biggest comparisons for it? Because my biggest hindrance is the cost. Like, if you
Yeah.
compare a similar trip between both ships, it seems like Disney is expensive by a couple $1,000.
Trust me, I get that. And I know that's something that we've talked about as well. It's hard to say because they do things differently. Like Disney, you're going to get a lot of Disney on the ship. And for people that don't think, oh, well, they're like, I don't want to miss what's in the parks. I know it's a lot, but literally the only thing you're missing is an actual attraction, because I have never seen more characters in the parks than I've seen on any sailing I've been on Disney Cruise Line. You're going to see characters. There is a schedule every single day that you'll get on your app, and it's usually from starting about 8 or 9 in the morning, and every 15 to 30 minutes there will usually be characters out scheduled until about 10 o'clock at night every single day. But there are even more that if you'll just catch walking around or in the kids club or hanging out just on deck, and it's such a very unique situation. And then you're going to see them in the show, and I think families with younger children are always going to go, okay, I want that Disney magic aspect, so I'm going to go with that, because we love the stage shows, we love their Broadway productions. But when we went on Royals, we went on Royals ships, we watched their stage shows, and we loved them too. But they're not adult themed, as in, oh, the kids can't watch or be there, but they are more adult oriented. And I just think that you're not always going to get the kids as interested in what you're seeing on stage. So if you're looking for something with kids that you know you're going to want them to be interested at all times, we want to go to the shows, we want to go to the meet and greets, we want to go to all these different things. I think that's where Disney has a really big advantage. The service too, I mean, I know you're paying extra, but you're paying for top-notch service. I mean, the stateroom hosts, the servers, the head server, assistant servers, the guest services. Not that Royal has been bad whatsoever, but the attention to detail, the attention to who you are as an individual and a family, Disney continues that and does it. Let's just say they do it the Disney parks old school way. Like, I know things have changed and the world has changed, but customer service on the Disney cruise lines has stayed the same and always been top of the line.
Okay, so you would say, because I was going to ask you that, so straight up service is you'd give the edge to Disney?
Correct.
On the cruises?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about food?
Food, I guess that's a little bit of a difference too, because on Disney, unless it's one of the adult restaurants, all your food is paid for. On Royal, there are numerous complimentary options. There's the main dining room, you can go in every night, the buffet upstairs, plenty of food all the way around. But the one thing about Royal that you'll learn is that there are a number of additional costs. Like, I'm sure you've seen there's a drink package and there's a soda package. If you want alcohol, there's that. If you want to eat at one of the probably anywhere from 7 to 10 different specialty restaurants that each ship has, each one of those is a different cost as well. So when you look at the overall price of things, when you make some add-ons with Royal, it may not hit Disney's price point, but it'll start to come a little bit closer. But as far as food goes, the complimentary food, I will give to Disney. But when it comes to their specialty restaurants on Royal, if you're okay with paying a little bit of extra, they're outstanding. Giovanni's, Chops Grill, they're just fantastic locations. It's a little, like I said, it's an extra cost, but more than worth it.
Yeah, we ate at Chops Grill, and it was some of the best steak we've ever had.
So that's how we feel every time. We've done 3 Royals in the last year and a half, and every time we've eaten at a Chops on those different ships, and we've never been disappointed.
Yeah. I've heard people say that they had a hard time, like there's long lines to meet the characters on the Disney cruises, and they really felt like they didn't see a lot of characters. But you're saying differently. So, what would you say to that? That somebody might think that.
I mean, it's not out of the question. I mean, there have been times we've seen a line for characters, and but more often than not, we'll walk up on a character who's scheduled to be in a certain spot at a certain time, and they're just standing there. I mean, I've seen many times a character wander away from where they were supposed to be scheduled to be standing because they didn't have anybody to see. Because you have to think, on a ship, there's the pools, and you could be in your room doing something, and there's a show or there's a kids club. People are going to be all over the place. So if they don't happen to want to see a particular Minnie Mouse right now, they know that, okay, Minnie Mouse is going to be out again this evening. I can go see her then. So chances are she may be standing there. But if there's a one-time unique meet and greet, like on the Halloween cruises, usually Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle will be dressed as the Sanderson sisters. And that meet and greet will only happen once, maybe twice per sailing. So you're going to get a lot more people going to it because it's such a rarity.
Right. Understood. And what I did notice, if I understood it correctly, I was playing around with some Royal stuff the other day. I think they just went over to Disney's way to a degree anyway, of when you plan out your trip, there are no hidden fees now.
Correct.
So, yeah. So I did notice that.
Yeah, what you're seeing now is what you're getting, which is really good. Like I said, you still have the specialty restaurants you can add, the drink packages, but all port fees, taxes, stuff like that, you're going to see in Royal's price, which is something I'm really glad they finally went to, because there have been many times people came and said, hey, I found a cruise for $2,100. And I'm like, oh, that's an awesome price. And then they'll go through with it and it's $2,500. And I'm like, that $400 is a lot to many people. And I hate that they always sometimes were disappointed because they thought they had something good, but going through the whole process made them not be able to do what they thought.
Yes.
And so what I got a question about the special restaurants. What makes them better than the Disney restaurants? What's the biggest thing that you see?
I think it's just the fact that they go more unique. Like on Disney ships, you'll get Palo Steakhouse. Palo is usually an Italian. You'll get Remy, which is French. But that's it. I mean, other than that, you get the complimentary food options. On Royal, they're like on Utopia the other day, we saw Chops, which is a steakhouse. Giovanni's is Italian. There was a French restaurant. There's a sushi bar. There's a hibachi. And I think there were like 3 or 4 other ones. There's a sports bar, a Playmakers. There's a Johnny Rockets diner. They take them and give you 7 to 10 options. And that's like, well, I can't do 7 to 10 options in 4 days. No, but you have a lot of variety. If you're somebody, because say you may look at the menu for the night, and on Royal, like on our 4-night sailing on Utopia, there was a continental menu, there was a Mediterranean, there was a Jamaican, and there was a French menu. I'll admit, I'm not a big French food person, and neither is my wife. And so we liked having that option. If we would have gotten that menu on a Disney ship, we would have said, okay, well, our only other option is either to go to Palo, which is Italian, or on the Wish, it's a steakhouse, or go to Remy, which is French, and that just eliminates that one. I'm like, we're kind of stuck. On Royal, you get a bunch of options, and you're like, okay, well, I just had Italian. I don't really want French. I don't want to go to a sports bar. Oh, wait, look, there's a hibachi. There's just something, always an option that you can choose something different.
I like that. Yeah, I have not done a cruise either.
Oh, you need to.
So we have plenty of stuff to.
There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do. But every time we think about going someplace, Disney World calls our name.
Of course, and I get that. Trust me, I get it. A lot of people don't want to move away from it, but once you get that first one in, especially a DCL sailing, you're gonna see the addictive nature of it. And I will say that being Florida residents helps us considerably, because if they don't have that ship sold out, we're able to go at the last minute 2 weeks before, and they'll drop that rate just so they can get as many rooms full as possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
And we don't have to fly. We don't have to fly.
Correct. That is a huge bonus.
Yeah, there's no cruises out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
You're kind of stuck up there.
Yeah, I'm kind of
you're almost in the middle there. But I was telling Tammy last night, like, I'm like, it's just like a cozy feeling, like you're home on the ship, and it's moving, and you're in your neighborhood, and you get to go wherever you want. And meanwhile, oh, by the way, tomorrow we're going to be somewhere else. Like, I don't know, it's a lot of people, but it's a cozy feeling to me.
I agree with you. It's almost like an intimate feeling. Like, I mean, Utopia is the second largest ship in the world. We went on Icon in February, which is the largest, and everybody has been telling us, you're crazy, you're crazy. And I'll say, we had skepticism when we went on Icon. And I experienced it on Icon. I experienced it on Utopia this past week. There were many times we walked around the ship and we'd get to an area and we'd see like 4 or 5 people. And I'm like, and I even asked at one point, because we traveled with some friends of ours, and I was like, is the ship not sold out? And the agency owner of the travel agency we work with, Crown and Castle Travel, he was with us, and he's a friend of ours, and he's like, no, he goes, I asked, it's a sold out ship. There's nothing available. There's like, I think he said that they told him there's like 6,400 guests on board. And I'm like, okay, there's 6,400 on a floating vessel at sea. What's going on here? So we started noticing it continued, and almost everywhere we went, unless there was something specific happening at that area, there were times we wouldn't see 5-10 people in any given spot. And I'm like, that's just crazy. But then when you think about it, they could be playing basketball. They could be on the surf simulator. They could be in the different pools, at the bars, in a show, doing activities. I just like that no matter the fact that we have thousands of people with us in one area, we don't have to see many of them if we don't choose to.
Yeah, that would be that's one thing that I thought of, like, because you look at the size of those ships and you think about, lines at food and lines at the events and all of that, or the activities, and you're like, I don't know that I want to be a part of that. But if you're saying, you can walk around, it doesn't feel that way. And the video that Corey put out of his day one on his trip at Allure was like, it didn't feel, crowded. So, I think if that's one thing holding people back from going on a cruise, they should check out some videos, because it's not really like that at all.
I'm glad you think so, because we feel the same way. And that's something we always try to tell people, is that just because it seems like, or you assume that there's going to be a ton of people in one spot, there really isn't. It's just, you have to realize that these ships are designed to have people do as much as possible, because they want them to come back. They can go visit Aruba or the Bahamas. They can fly over there. They can go do any of those places. Yes, the ports are nice, but they want people back on these ships. So they're going to give them as much as humanly possible to do. And I think it works really well.
Going into our first cruise, the one concern we had, especially my 16-year-old boy, was, I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do, Dad.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back and we review the trip, you want to know the one thing we didn't do? We didn't relax by the pool very much, because there wasn't time for it. We were rock climbing, we were surfing, we were zip lining, we were eating. We were doing so many other things that we really didn't get a lot of pool time.
Yeah, I agree with you. You have to make the things you think you're going to want to do, you have to make time for, because once you get on that ship, if you're not in the know about it, you're going to realize that there's so much more that you want to do that you can't even believe that, okay, we don't have time to do the things we really wanted to do. So I love cruises. Like I said, Stacy got me addicted to them, and I'm glad she introduced me to them, because it's my favorite thing to do. I mean, I love the parks. Yes, we're right here, but I love going out to Disneyland, and we don't do it as often as we like. But cruises, it's our chance to get away from everything while also being able to do as much as we want.
Yeah, Yeah, and when I suggested it, we were trying to look for something to do,
Mhm.
and I went back and forth with all kinds of other things. And leading up to this, my wife and I have been going on vacations together for like 25 years, and we were like, no, we're resort people. Give us a spot in Mexico
Yeah.
or the Dominican, and we'll do excursions when we want, and then we'll just hang at Alani and we'll do some stuff, and then we'll go
Mhm.
on an excursion. And she was always skeptical if she would get seasick, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I'm glad she put that aside and allowed me to try this with everybody, and the whole family was skeptical. And then when they came back, and my daughter is almost 18, she was the most popular teenager on that ship. She was like, I'm not gonna have fun doing this. I said, look at the activities and
Mhm.
go give it a try. We saw her for the first hour of the sailing, and then we didn't see her that much.
That's awesome.
She had all kind of friends. We'd hang up in the promenade at night as our last thing, have some coffee, people
Mhm.
watch in the mall area, have some snacks. And she'd walk by with a group of kids, and she was happy as could be. We're going to get pizza. We're going to do this. And, I'd say, what'd you do at night? Because she'd stroll into the room at like 2:15 in the morning. We're fast asleep already. And she'd just be like, oh, hanging in the hot tub and in the pool and up on deck with friends and just
Yeah.
hanging out. And she's like, one night when the boat was really rocking side to side, she's like, we would jump up at the right time, and then it would be like a high jump, but then the ship would meet you, and it would be, so doing silly things like that and all. And she even, if anybody doesn't know, on Royal, they have a plaque on the floor of every elevator
Yeah.
with the day. So you don't have to think about the day, but you can see it when you get on the elevator. Oh, it's Saturday.
Mhm.
And she was curious. This is only things teenagers would do, right? She and some friends sat in the elevator for an hour and a half at like 2 in the morning, waiting to see when it would change. And a guy comes in and he flips the thing and he changes it manually. Ah, so everyone had a great time. So
Good.
can't wait to do it again for sure.
That's awesome. I mean, you see, there is an addictive nature to it, and once you do the next one, you're going to start you'll start looking at different ships, and you'll start realizing that each of them have some similarities, but they also have their own unique things to offer and what you want to do. And I can't say it enough. I really said, we were so skeptical about the size of Icon and Utopia, but there was nothing about it that was intimidating. It was just the only intimidating thing I would say is that we didn't have enough time to do everything we wanted to do. Same like y'all.
So, Doreen has a question. She says, did you notice kids having tantrums on the cruise like you would see in the parks? I mean, we know we see that in the parks all the time. Do you tend to see that on the cruises, or do you see less younger kids?
I see a lot less, but we have a theory as to why. Because, excuse me, when you're in the parks, of course, there's always the meltdowns, and like my wife even says, it's the mid-afternoon meltdown because it happens when they rope drop, and then it hits around 2 right before the parade, and you can tell kids are hot, they're tired, but the thing is, they're in the park. They went there to go to the park, and the idea of leaving the parks is not necessarily on the minds of the parents. On a ship, if a child has a meltdown, like Corey said, in the promenade, your room is less than 5 minutes away. If that child is losing it, okay, hey, let's go back to the room for a few minutes. Okay, it only took us 5 minutes. We didn't have to get in a car. We didn't have to catch a monorail or a bus. We didn't lose an hour and a half of our day.
Right.
Okay, you cool now? 15 minutes? Let's go back out. It's a much easier environment. It's just like being in a home where you step out of your front door and everything you want to do is in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easy to get back to where you need to go in case you need that break. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Everyone in chat, do I sound better? They were saying earlier that I sounded lower than you guys in volume, and someone said they could only hear me in the left ear. So feedback would be appreciated there.
So what's your favorite park?
Epcot.
Okay. No, that's what I thought based on what you said before.
I mean, no doubt. It's been my favorite park since I was a kid. And I mean, I've been with it through its progression of everything. I was there when they had Communicore. I was there when they had the needle tables at the top of ImageWorks in the original Journey to Imagination. Communicore then transformed into Interventions, which for many years, actually during my preteen, early teen years housed a huge Sega Genesis headquarters. And there were hundreds of Sega games all spread throughout one of the sides of Interventions. And when my family would go to Epcot, if they wanted to go to some of the countries that I didn't find overly interesting, I'd hang out there forever. And I miss so much of what Epcot used to be, but I'm still entertained and enjoying what it is now. And it's supposed to be the park that always advances. Yes, we miss Horizons, we miss World of Motion, we miss so many different things, but it's the future. It's supposed to always be ever evolving. So I can't blame Epcot for changing, because that's what it's meant to do.
So what are your thoughts on the now canceled Play Pavilion? Do you think it's going to come back? Let me tell you my theory. My theory was with the investment that they put into Epic Games, that it would show up again. That the Play Pavilion would show up again. Maybe that's just my hope more than anything else. I don't know.
I'm with you in the hope. I would love to see something like that, especially from a video game fan perspective. I thought it had a lot of merit, and I thought it was a very interesting thing that they were going to try and do with it. And it reminded me of what that pavilion used to be when it included Body Wars, and it had Cranium Command, and it had these exercise bikes that you could hop on, and there's a little screen in front of you, and you'd ride it through like Magic Kingdom or Disneyland. I'm like, okay, this is very interactive. And when they introduced the Play Pavilion, I was like, okay, they're bringing aspects of what it used to be back to life. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. And then they scrapped it, and I'm like, okay, I have the hope that it'll come back. And I also have the hope it'll come back because that is an incredible space, that Wonders of Life Pavilion. And I hate to see it just sitting there dormant or used as whatever they're using it for personally. But I don't see it coming. I hate to say that. I hope to be proven wrong. I just don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. What about Test Track 3.0? What do you think that's going to be?
If it's vastly different from 2.0, then it'll be good. I just didn't like the. I guess I'm not saying. Okay, let me put it this way. They went from a very, very creative, you're a crash test dummy type of ride that it originally was. And I'm like, that's so unique, and it just makes a lot of sense. And it was a great storyline. But then they jumped into the futuristic aspect of it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's Epcot. It makes sense. But when you went on the original, you would go through that middle section of the ride before you jumped outside, and you'd go through a brake test. You'd go through what it was like to round a sharp curve, what it was like to come to a quick stop. And I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. But when you went through that part on 2.0, you were just going around a neon light filled room. And I'm like, tell me something. I'm like, let me know what's going on here. Let me know what we're meant to be doing in this space. And I still enjoyed it because I liked the aspect of the ride and the thrill, but I just always felt lost in that moment. And I think them redesigning it again with aspects of World of Motion and bringing some of that nostalgia back from the ride that I miss, I think it's going to be, I have really good feeling about what's coming. So I'm hoping I'm right on that too, because I just think it's going to be a vast improvement over what we've had the last few years.
Did Epcot win with Journey of Water?
It's interesting. It is. I don't know how much of a repeat visit it is, but I think they did a good job in what they were trying to do. And I think the main thing they were trying to do was bring Moana into the park. And along with that, they wanted to say, okay, Epcot is that futuristic thing. Epcot is something that not only are you just going to sit somewhere and look at things as you ride through, you're going to learn something and you're going to interact. And that's what Journey of Water is. If that was their goal, which I think it was, is to introduce Moana and to bring an interactive thing for people to learn about, they knocked it out of the park. I mean, like I said, for frequent park goers such as us, it's not something we visit very often because it's just we know exactly what the aspect is. We know raise the hand. We know what the facts say on each plaque for the water, and I love it. But for those that come once a year, twice a year, I think it's a very good attraction and something that guests truly enjoy. We have never walked through there and not seen people laughing, having fun, calling out somebody else. Hey, come see what this one's doing. Come listen to the water that plays music. So they're bringing smiles to people's faces and they're learning even if they don't realize it. And I think that's a very good thing.
I think that's a good explanation. I would agree that it's a win. The one thing that caught me that you said was like a repeat attraction. So Disney tries to design things to where you want to go back to that. Like, I got to go back to this because of this thing or these things.
Yeah.
So I would say as a regular park goer, maybe we go visit it one every 12, 15 times. But when we do, we have fun doing it.
Yeah.
You know, if we're walking around and we're like, okay, what do you want to do? All right, we have some time. Hey, we haven't seen Moana in a few trips. Let's go run through that for 5 minutes. And it is fun to do it and interact with the water and all that. So, and it does grasp what Epcot's supposed to be about, right? Learning. You actually are having fun, but you're learning about the way of water, you know? So, yeah, I don't know if it's something we'll see there in 10 years. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem that busy to me. At least when I go, it's at night, though. So I don't know if you've been in the daytime in recent weeks and noticed that maybe, you know, if there's ever a line to get in or
during the day, not necessarily a line, but during the day, you're going to see it a little bit more crowded. I think people are taking advantage of the water aspect with the heat. So that helps considerably. But at night, I think it's more of a pretty thing. It's when they light it up, it's beautiful to see and see Spaceship Earth lit behind it. I'm like, this is what we're here for at night.
Oh, with Tafiti right there and Spaceship Earth behind. So I think it's one of those attractions that you have to treat like Pandora, which Disney's forgetting about right now.
Right.
Like, we don't show the best aspect of one of our great lands and show it at night. We close at 6. Yeah, if you do Moana, if you're new to the attraction, do it in the daytime, cool off, do all that, but go back at night just for the beauty of it.
Yeah. It is a completely different attraction at night, just like Pandora. I mean, it's night and day, literally, and it's well worth getting 2 visits in just to see it at the different times.
And it is vastly different between day and night for sure. All right, so then I'm going to ask you a question since Epcot's your favorite.
Sure.
If there was a new country announced, what would you hope it would be?
Oh.
Ooh.
And chat, you can answer too.
I mean, it's for him. I'm just thinking myself, though.
I know. I'm curious what you're going to say because
I'd have to do some research as far as, like, I'd want to bring more learning. I think Disney's starting to catch a little bit of momentum, right, in trying to bring back what we want to see, what Epcot maybe lost for a little while and is coming back with the learning and stuff like that. We need a learning thing, an educational attraction. And, I mean, the only open space really is over there in the pavilion by Guardians. So we need something to learn about, something educational over there.
If you want something educational, but I think that can also bring a lot of excitement, I think Brazil would be a truly very good option because you're just getting a culture and a country and a people that are so unique and they bring so much life to everything that they do. And every time you see them on TV, whether you see them in The Amazing Race, they're stopping in Brazil, or if you just see a documentary or anything, Brazil just really brings about an excitement of life. And I think their culture would bring a lot to Epcot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Neil has a point, too, there. You know, there's so many other countries, too, but Brazil's great. Great food. And like you said, all those great things, too. Africa just has this little stand. You know.
Yeah, they've got the drink ice cream stand over in that corner.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get a Dole Whip in Africa.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. And Pamela's Greek. She's always pushing for the Greek pavilion, for sure, as well.
I could see Greece. The Greece outdoor kitchen at I don't think it's Flower and Garden. I think it's Food and Wine usually has it. Always has a line. Always has a line. It's typically, well, they've moved it a couple times. Sometimes it was up front by Canada. Other times it's been by in the United Kingdom, and I think that would be a good option as well.
I think it's been in Morocco too. Like
it has. You're
just
right.
Outside of Morocco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
I think we got everything on that menu with Pamela. Oh, I'm throwing things. And we ended up taking it over to Japan, which was close, not that far, well, not that far away, because they have the nice little outdoor areas to sit and eat it. So that was a nice night. I remember that, Pamela. Nighttime spectaculars. What's your favorite nighttime spectacular in the history of Epcot?
Oh, okay. I was about to say current or all time. In the history, Illuminations.
It is. Okay.
I can't help it. It's just, it was that music. It was just everything about Illuminations. And I don't know. There was just something about it that screamed Disney to me. And I know that it's something about that screamed to Epcot when that globe would float out to the middle and it would show the different aspects of life in different countries around the world and show people, and it would open up and have that flame. And I don't know, it's just Illuminations always brought about those feelings of chills. And no matter how many times I saw it, Harmonious, it wasn't always my favorite. I thought it had some really good aspects, but I miss the worldly aspect of just Epcot saying, here's the world as we see it. You're seeing it in a Disney park, not here's the Disney world as we see it in a Disney park. So that's the main difference for me, is Illuminations brought about more of the planet itself and the globe and the people without having every intellectual property thrown into it.
How does Luminous hit for you?
Luminous is not bad. It really isn't. I think it takes some of the aspects that Harmonious was missing, even though it's still got a lot of IP. I don't know. There's the music of Luminous is just something that. Oh no, here we go. Luminous.
Here we go.
I mean, I think they're really trying, and I love the effort that the Imagineers, that the creators, the music directors, everything are putting into it. I think Luminous is better than Harmonious. I just think that there's just something that just appears to be missing. And like what you said with Moana, it's do I want to keep going back to watch it? Even though I'm an avid park goer and we go to Epcot multiple times a week, when Illuminations was happening, if I happened to be at the park at 9:00 still, because I just either didn't notice it or planned on it, I would stop and watch Illuminations. Now with Luminous, I may stop. I may plan to go for it. It's just kind of up in the air, but I want that repeat feeling that I want to see this again and again.
NC 2002 shares my opinion. I think the greatest ending of any nighttime spectacular was Harmonious for me. It's so powerful.
It was.
Just the drum, bum, 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 bum,
everything,
bum,
yeah,
and then just the music comes up. Oh, and then it stops. Right, everything just shuts down, and then it raises up again with the fireworks, the music, the voices, just incredible.
It was.
But people miss the message a lot of times in Luminous too, and when you go back and listen to the music a lot, like that's number one played thing in my car for the last several weeks. It's really powerful too. It has a really good message. It doesn't bring that Epcot message though, right, Lawrence? It doesn't do that. It's more about life in the individual. It's not about the countries and what Epcot's about. So
it starts with that. You do have the cannons going off with the countries, and hopefully everybody knows the very last welcome in that sequence is Walt Disney saying welcome, which is pretty powerful when you realize it. But so it does have that aspect, and then you do have Spaceship Earth that does turn into the globe in the middle of the show. So you have that, but not anything like what you had in Illuminations. Yeah,
I don't have a great memory of Illuminations. when did Illuminations finish? When did that end? We moved here 8 years ago. I feel like Illuminations was on the tail end. I think it was still playing.
You said 8 years ago you moved?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay, I want to say, let's see, I'm paying it. 2019.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still there.
Yeah.
I think it was like, we treated Illuminations like we saw it on vacation, but that was much earlier than that. That was probably like 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
My first experience watching Illuminations was watching it from, I always forget the actual name of those particular stores up at the top. It's not
Port of Entry.
Port of Entry. I just can never remember that. So Port of Entry, I had to watch it from in there because my son was so young. The fireworks scared him, so we had to go inside and I had to watch from there. But I did eventually get to watch it outside. The music is great.
Yeah.
But Harmonious is my favorite.
I can respect that.
Yeah, but I do enjoy them all. But,
I do think one thing I can say about Illuminations before we move on is like, it's something that it came about and started the year of my first college program with 1999. And when I went back the next year, summer of 2000, it was really hitting its stride. And I think it's a very just nostalgic memory for me of a very good time in my life with the college program. And I think that's, other than how much I love the show itself, I think it just has something memory for me that just sticks it, puts it above some of the other shows.
You hit the nail on the head right there. So we watch, everything Disney does is great or nearly great, right? So we connect our emotions to something based on maybe something that was happening in our life at the time, who we were with, what experiences we had. I used to do that, and this was the show. So it's almost like if Harmonious was that show, you'd probably have the same feelings about it.
I agree.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else about Epcot, Lawrence?
So, well, Ross and Found talked about a book that he had that talked about what it was originally going to be. Was it that book? I want to say this is from 84, 85, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually, it's a pictorial book, souvenir book of really Disney World, but certainly it talks about Epcot and what was coming, like Africa and some of the other countries there. Mm-hmm. So very interesting. It talks about River Country. So, but yeah, it's funny because Epcot is my favorite and Corey's favorite as
Lawrence. Look who is in the chat.
Melanie. Mel, welcome. Do I have a new webcam? I do. Thanks to you and your suggestion, I did get the Elgato.
You didn't even tell me that. Sometimes we surprise each other and just show up with new equipment and things like that.
Yeah, so I did grab that. It's pretty cool. So that I had mentioned over the weekend, what upgrade was I doing to the studio, and that was it. So thank you, Mel, for noticing that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. We're honored that you came in, Melanie. We watch you all the time and always love what you do over there as well. And I hope you like what we're doing here. And if you have any constructive criticism, we'd be happy to listen. And we live stream. Listen, I'm going to tell Melanie this. You need to do a show about how to improve a YouTube channel that is almost, we do vlogs, but exclusively from doing mobile live streams in Disney World. It's what we do. And boy, I would love to separate myself from the others and just really grow even more. So if you have any tips, anything like that, you can definitely contact Lawrence and maybe we can get together or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But a video would be awesome, or a live stream on something like that. I feel like people forget about that aspect. It's always about how to help your live streams from home, but nobody talks about mobile.
Yeah. So we had another question from Sharon, she wants to know, what do you think of the addition of drones? Do you think they'll replace fireworks?
Replace fireworks entirely? No. Excuse me. But I think they will start to possibly bring the amount of fireworks that they use in each nightly show down. We've seen what they do with drones over at Disneyland Paris. We have seen what they are now doing at Disney Springs. And I have to say that Disney Dreams That Soar, it's one of my favorite shows. It's just strictly drones and music, and you don't get the booms, you don't get the explosions, but you don't need it. What they've done over there is just absolutely fantastic. And they're seeing what Universal has done with its nighttime shows, sensational. And I'm like, it's just crazy that these drones, which make no sound, don't have big blow-ups, don't leave smoke, can bring so much to the show, because what they can do is, insurmountable. And it's like, I think they're going to be coming, and I think that Disney Dreams That Soar, the fact that Disney gave that to us in a free location tells me that they're like, hey, let's see what kind of attention we get with this. Let's see how good it works. And let's see what kind of retention we get after it's been out a couple of months. And we still are seeing these crowds for the 2 shows nightly over there months in advance. And I think this is months after it opened. And I think this is something they're really going, okay, this was a true test. Let's start incorporating it into the parks. They're coming. And I see that Dina asked about Animal Kingdom. I think this is how they can get that nighttime show at Animal Kingdom. It's like y'all said, they're missing that great opportunity to continue to show Pandora at night. They're missing the nighttime safari that I thought was a great addition over the last few years. You bring those drones in and you bring them into Animal Kingdom and let that park stay open till 8, 9, maybe 10. You've brought yourself a whole new audience that is going to go, okay, there's so much more I can see now. And I think it will work.
Do you all believe that Animal Kingdom, I may get the year wrong, but I think I'm right, Animal Kingdom was open till 11 p.m. on the weekends in 2019. 11 p.m. So it can happen. And imagine all the additional revenue Disney can make. You've got people in the parks longer. They're going to stay because they want to see the nighttime show. Bring back the night safari. I don't know if the night safari didn't work for the animals, and that's one reason why, or it was just simply other reasons. But we loved it.
Oh, so did we. The nighttime safari was a great thing. It brought a whole new view of this thing. And I think it's just, they try. I think one of the things is they tried, and when they brought in, wow, my mind escapes me. What was the show?
Rivers of Light.
Thank you. And right before they had the temporary Jungle Book Alive with Magic. I
never saw that one.
You didn't miss anything. Not discrediting the performers, they were amazing, but you could tell it was nothing more than a temporary thing, and they wanted to get something to see how seating was going to work and how viewpoints were going to work for Rivers of Light. And when Rivers of Light, and then they tried Kite Tales during the day, I'm like, they're trying different things, but I think they're just not catching, and people aren't attaching themselves to it. And I liked Rivers of Light simply due to the fact is there was not a ton of intellectual property thrown into it. And that, I think, though, is what the majority of fans going to Walt Disney World today want. They were like, well, you've got the characters, throw them in there. That's what we came to see is Disney characters. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I respect that opinion. But I think that's why it didn't necessarily continue the way they had hoped it would. But you bring in drones, you show me drones over the night sky, over Tree of Life, or over that big auditorium outside with Lion King characters, Zootopia characters, any other animal characters. It's a can't miss. And I think Disney is trying to get to that point of doing something similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Maybe that's it. You got to listen to us on that one.
They really do, but nobody asked me.
Yeah, that's the key. But
that's
I do
what
that,
life says all the time.
When I want to push for something, though, I pull Disney aside when I'm live in the parks and we talk. I go, okay, listen, Disney, listen to me, Disney. This is what I'm thinking.
I like how you address them directly as Disney.
Yeah, I do. Disney, I know you're watching, and this is it. This is the thing. I mean, we did have that disaster that just developed. Seemed out of the blue, Lawrence, didn't it? With the evacuation of guests from Magic Kingdom in the hub last year. Like all of a sudden, it was chaos and it was dangerous, and there's people falling off of curbs, and it just looked like they closed off a lot of avenues where previously they were allowing people to come and go again, whether you were going back into the park, whether you were exiting. Lawrence and I did a whole podcast on. We pulled the maps. We had ways that we thought it could be better, and then what? Maybe 3-4 weeks later.
Yeah.
I start going from Main Street to try to go to Pirates. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, this avenue's open. And I asked a cast member, I'm like, are you trying to make changes now? And she said, yes. I said, well, it's working because I got to Pirates in, I think, under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think they listen. They listen to everything. They watch all the
They
live
do.
streams
They
and
watch.
stuff. So
Disney, if
they
you watch now, hi.
And I do have a friend. I have a friend that ranks in status a bit too, and she'll ask me for opinions and stuff like that now and then. So it matters. Like I covered opening of Galaxy's Edge, and I talked to her a few days later, and she really wanted to know what did you like, what did you not like, what do you think, things like that. So they listen, they care. I think when Disney does their polls and questionnaires and all that, they take all of those to heart, and they will make changes if we speak out enough.
Yep. They just need to hear it enough.
Yes.
Yep.
So let me ask you, I just want to be respectful of your time. Are you still good for 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, about 20 more minutes is great.
Perfect.
Okay. Lawrence never asks me that.
Listen, when we end the show, we'll probably be on here until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock talking. So
yeah, we continue to talk.
Yeah.
So, the podcast is like podcast after podcast.
That's right. So one of the fun things that we do on the show is play Love Like Leave. So we thought with a guest like Dr. Disney, we would do that. So everybody in chat certainly participate in this as well. Before we do that, chat, I want to ask you, do you know where Dr. Disney's shirt is from? Corey, do you know? Yes or no?
Without thinking about it, I do not know. I didn't even know it was Disney related.
It is.
Until you asked.
Okay.
But it is?
Yeah.
It is. Yes, it is.
Progress. Oh, okay. I got it.
Once you said it out loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Progress. That's where I'm at. I mean, isn't that the logo that the daughter wears in the final scene?
School.
It's the school she goes to.
It's her school.
Yeah.
It's exactly what her sweatshirt is. Yeah.
Her gray sweatshirt.
Yeah. Love it.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Catherine's right. That's why I highlighted her comment, because I'm usually the one keeping Lawrence.
Yeah. So, love, like, leave. I'm going to give you 3 items. You have to love one, like one, and leave one or get rid of one.
All right.
All right. So let's start with what I think is probably an easy one for you based on what you've said. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios.
Love Epcot, like Magic Kingdom, leave Hollywood Studios.
See how quick that was?
He didn't even bat an eyelash.
I mean, I can tell you, it's just by how much I know we go to each park.
And so I don't put Animal Kingdom on the list, but where is Animal Kingdom 4th? Yeah. I'm with
Would Animal Kingdom rank below Universal and Islands of Adventure? How about that? We'll extend it.
It's
I agree
so
too.
hot there.
I agree.
I can't take it. It's so hot. I'm not saying it's not fun, but it's so hot. And yes, it is hotter than the other parks. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, I just came up with another question. This is for everybody in chat, too. Would you be sad or upset if Disney said, listen, they come out, D23, my guy Josh D'Amaro is coming out, and he's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a brand new park. We're going to answer to Epic, but we have to get rid of Animal Kingdom. We have to clear the land. Sold? Okay.
Sold.
There you
I'm
go.
sold.
I would sign off on that too.
I get it. I get flack all the time, especially on Twitter, because a lot of people on Diz Twitter and some on the page actually know, like, if we'll post, hey, it's a beautiful day at Animal Kingdom, and people will comment, why are you there? And I'm like, we come here, and they're like, no, you don't. I'm like, okay, we come here occasionally.
Yeah, every now and then.
It's one of those things, like when we don't go for a long time, we probably go, you could track it. We could track it, Lawrence, every time. Everybody could track every time I go to the parks. I'm live.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go back and see how often we go to Animal Kingdom. I'm going to guess at least maybe within every 8 weeks or something like that, we'll do it.
I would say, so you're saying about once every 2 months?
Yes, because we have annual passes for Universal too, so I sprinkle that in also. But I'll always do Universal first before Animal Kingdom. But we are going to Animal Kingdom on the 10th. So it's been a little bit since we've gone. But when we go, I was going to say we have fun.
Oh, yeah.
We leave going, what a great day.
Yeah.
Same here.
We should do this more, but then we don't.
But we don't. I know the feeling.
And you know what? I cannot ever get my bearings completely. And I've been in that place a million times. If we, in a rush, need to go from, like, Everest to Pandora, it's like you got to stop and you go, okay, what's the fastest way? Not really sure. It's not, every other park you can walk it in your sleep. I still have trouble with Animal Kingdom. I've asked a cast member and she's like, I still get lost in here.
Yeah, because it's huge.
If you went more than every 2 months, you might remember one.
Maybe.
He has a point.
Maybe. It's not very handicap friendly either with its services. It's very uneven. I get the authenticity they want to create, but they probably should have gone with flatter walkways.
Well, that's what I was about to say is for somebody that's in a wheelchair on those walkways, after 5 minutes, I can see why they're done, because if someone's pushing somebody in a wheelchair, the person's arms are also like vibrating off. The person sitting in it, it's 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, even if you're pushing a stroller, it's tough.
Yeah.
Love to see the chat rolling. We do this live because we do it for all of you. And Kimberly Park World and Park World are just blowing up the chat tonight, and I love it. Have you heard of Park World Radio yet?
I have.
You have?
I have heard of Park World Radio.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I love it. I'm addicted. 24 hours a day. Parks music. I love it. So
I am a lover of Parks music, especially background music. It's one of my favorite things. The Interventions loop, the old school Tomorrowland loop, all of that's the land. I could listen to that 24 hours a day.
My all-time favorite Epcot park piece of music was the
That's part of the Interventions loop. Loved it. Yep.
Oh, I'll be walking by and I would have to stop and go, listen. Like back then we were just a vlogging channel and I would stop and I'd be like, listen, everybody, listen.
Yep.
Love that piece of music.
So
love it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go with the nighttime shows.
Okay.
Or not the nighttime shows, but the
some of the shows.
Some of the shows. So HEA, Luminous, and the Parade, Festival of Fantasy.
HEA, love it. Festival of Fantasy, like it. Luminous, leave it.
Okay, I thought you might go that way. What about you, Corey?
For me, it's easy. It's Happily Ever After. Oh, it's not that easy. Festival of Fantasy, I love that parade so much. And when my family and I arrive on Saturdays late for that, they hear it. I really do love that parade.
Yeah.
Luminous. I'm loving Luminous right now. So I'm just going to go in order. I'm going to go love HEA. What is it like?
Mm-hmm.
And, like Luminous. And I guess we would get rid of Festival of Fantasy.
Yeah. I'd probably go Luminous first. HEA, I don't have. So I didn't start going to the parks really until I went as a kid.
Yeah.
A few times, and then didn't go back really until 2020. So I don't have that same connection to HEA.
I can get that. Yeah, because I had that same connection towards Wishes. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Wishes plays a lot on Park World Radio, by the way.
As it should.
Just a little while ago. It should. Wishes. Yes, like it.
Uh, early entry, extended evening hours, or after hours party.
Okay, extended evening hours, love. After hours party, like. Early entry, leave.
Are
I
you
would
not
go
an
in that
early
same
riser?
order. What's that?
Are you not an early riser?
I am. Like, we get up very early. I mean, getting up on any given day of the week after later than 8 o'clock is very unusual for both my wife and I. But I just, I don't like rope drop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't understand the concept of it. I'm like, you are sprinting to do something that you're going to be able to do later on in the day without any issue whatsoever, and you didn't have to put that stress on yourself.
Yeah.
Give yourself a look. Just let yourself have a casual morning.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of of early entry at all. We've done it once since we've been going to the parks.
Yeah.
Once. Um,
You say that, and I think I have a podcast in our back pocket too, Lawrence, where I think we can prove to people that you don't need to ever pay for multipass or lightning lane, and you can get everything done.
I think so.
I think you can.
We've talked about that. So yeah.
I think you can.
All right. Mickey's Not So Scary, Mickey's Very Merry, and New Year's Eve at Epcot.
I will go in the exact order you have them listed. Mickey's Not So Scary is a love. Very Merry is a like, but a close love. New Year's Eve, no.
Really?
Oh, no. I may be weird, but okay, the weird part about this is not the fact that I can't handle those kind of crowds. I guess it also comes with us living here and going, hey, it's really crowded. Let's come back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We have that ability to do that. So I think that's something that spoiled us. But and maybe I'm just getting older, but the different music in every country, and I know some of them are silent discos now, which weirds me out. But when there's that much stimulation happening in every different direction, I can't handle it. It's just too much for me.
We were watching a vlog last night, Tammy and I, and I said to her, what is the reason for these silent music parties? I don't get it. Like, everybody's listening to the music, but out here you hear nothing. Like, why don't you just have the DJ? Am I missing something, or is that exactly what it is?
As far as I know, that's what it is. But I also know that there are times when you can choose between multiple songs. So everybody may be dancing to 2 or 3 different songs, but that's what weirds me out, because then you can tell that this person and that person are jamming out to completely different beats, and it looks like everybody's having a medical happening. I'm like, calm down. It just weirds me out too, I admit.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, and Everest.
Love space, like Big Thunder, leave Everest, and not just because it's at Animal Kingdom. That thing hurts.
More than space?
I think so. I think
Which one hurts?
Everest.
Oh no, I don't think so. I'm very comfortable in Everest.
Oh, I am not. That thing hurt. Not as much as Matterhorn out in Disneyland, but Everest kills me. Every time I get off of it, I get a headache.
You know what my top headache rides? Actually, Jacob's my son. We were at Hollywood the other day, and we renamed Rock and Roller Coaster together. And it's what was it? What did I call it? Concussion Coaster. We're gonna go on the Concussion Coaster, featuring Aerosmith. That thing gives me a headache every time. Like, you shake so much, it's so unstable, and they didn't fix that. I don't know if that was a goal to fix that, but it's very rough. I find that one a very rough ride.
Oh, see, and that's odd to me because, like you said about Everest, I find Rock and Roller Coaster to be one of the smoothest rides.
Yeah, no, there's so much back and forth.
Oh.
Now, listen, Big Thunder's weird for me. I ride it better with somebody that, it's going to sound funny, but somebody that I can kind of bump against, because when I'm by myself, I don't know, the configuration of the space or something, like, I have to kind of push my knees forward to try to not. I'm fighting to stay stable as opposed to rocking back and forth. So Big Thunder alone is not my favorite either. Big Thunder is where Corey crushes you. Oh, Jen, did I go on that with you? Because if I did, I crushed her. That was the ride I was talking to Tammy about the other day. I think I crushed Jen on that.
That's funny. Well, I can tell you, if it comes here, okay, but once y'all can get up to Disneyland, if it happens before we may get any changes, the advancements they've made to Thunder Mountain out there, the special effects and everything, it blows the one here out of the water. It's so much better.
And I do love Big Thunder, so I'll keep riding it, even if it means I go on alone and it's a little tough, but I do love it. I mean, I think with this whole new project they're going to do that. I mean, they are shutting Big Thunder down soon, right?
Yeah.
So
yes, and they filed some permits.
Do we know if that's what it's for?
No. We don't have official confirmation, but it's supposed to be a lengthy shutdown, and they have filed different permits for actual extensive work. They just haven't come out and voiced it.
All right. Well, August is right around the corner.
It is.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Can't wait for that.
In honor of your shirt,
Yeah.
Carousel of Progress, People Mover, Haunted Mansion.
Oh, you chose 3 of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say Mansion because I've got the Carousel shirt. Mansion's gonna be the love it. I've got the wallpaper tattooed on my back, so I'm a little closer to that. Let's see. So Haunted Mansion, love it. Oh God, I feel like I'm betraying my shirt. People Mover, like it. Carousel, leave it.
Wow.
I can't help it. I'm addicted to the People Mover too. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
It's when I get the choice. If everything else has gone well during the park evening or day, I always like to end with People Mover. Even if I do People Mover during the day, I'm like, oh, we're coming back for nighttime because it's so beautiful at night. You got to do it at night.
It's so much to it, and it's the simplest attraction imaginable.
Yeah,
I know, right? But for me, it would be Haunted Mansion, love Haunted Mansion, like Carousel, and I guess I will leave the People Mover.
It's hard.
That's hard though. That's hard.
hard.
You got to make a choice. So I'd put it there. How about you, Lawrence?
Man, I'm gonna say Haunted Mansion, love. Oof, I did make it hard. Haunted Mansion, love. People Mover, like Carousel of Progress, leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a hard choice though.
That is a tough one. Here's one that's a little easier for Corey, at least. Popcorn, Dole Whip, Wookie Cookie.
Popcorn, love. Wookie Cookie, like Dole Whip, no.
There you go.
Oh,
Neil.
wow.
I don't like them.
There you go, Neil. Neil is as an avid Wookie Cookie fan, and he keeps trying to pull people over. He will never get Corey over to that side. So.
You don't like it?
The Wookie Cookie needs upgrades. It needs to taste better. Number one, it doesn't need to be so dry. Like, why can't we make this cookie a little bit moister? And I love oatmeal cookies. Like, it tastes like oatmeal, man. And the cream is just okay. I think they could improve it. I think they could make it a little moister, a little bit tastier with the cookie itself, and the cream could be better.
Yeah.
So that's everything.
Yeah. That's everything.
So for Dole Whip, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they just despise Dole Whip. So have you tried multiple flavors? Are you just talking pineapple?
I am a citrus swirl person above all else. That is where I will go. I don't think I'm an overly big pineapple fan, but I've never just been a huge fan of Dole Whip, and I take a couple bites and I'm done. Citrus swirl, I could eat it all day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And of course, on this show, we have to end with this one.
Okay.
Mickey Pretzel, Mickey Ice Cream Bar, or the Ice Cream Sandwich.
I don't know who it is in the opening of y'all's show who has the issue with the ice cream. I thought so.
That would be me.
I will go though, and I know I may get a lot for this, but love Mickey Pretzel, like ice cream sandwich, leave ice cream bar. I'm sorry, the Mickey bar.
This guy's so controversial.
I tried, but I mean, I've tried it. I'm like, and even my wife, Stacy, loves ice cream. It is her addiction. She loves ice cream. But after like 2 bites of an ice cream bar, she'll get through like the ears and she's done. That's all she can handle. Unless she's like, I don't know, she can't do it. I'm like, okay, I'm the same way.
Mickey bars are Dove bars on a stick.
I know.
That's what that is. That's
They
good
are.
stuff. My thing about the ice cream sandwich is like, that's pretty standard. It's pretty standard. Everybody has those in their freezer at home. Like, it's easy to obtain those. You can't obtain a Mickey bar.
I know.
You can buy them from the store, but they are not the same.
They're not the same at all. I will give you that. They're not the same whatsoever.
So I shocked everybody. I did a live stream at Typhoon Lagoon last month, and they had free, during the party, it's free ice cream sandwiches, Mickey bars. The only thing they had on the table was ice cream sandwiches. I'm like, I'm just going to eat one. And they were like, you can't believe you ate one. I go, it was free. I didn't pay for it. I will not pay for one of those in the park. I'll pay for a Mickey bar, but I won't pay for that. So I would go Mickey ice cream bar, Mickey pretzel, and ice cream sandwich.
Okay. I respect that.
I would
eat a Wookiee cookie before I'd eat an ice cream sandwich.
Dang.
I don't know. I might go ice cream bar, pretzel ice cream sandwich.
Kind of figured.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't have the same issue with the ice cream sandwiches.
I can tell. I can tell it's personal.
It's pretty bad. But I was glad I got to see him eat the ice cream sandwich. I just didn't have my phone on me, or else I would have taken a picture, and that would have been black. I didn't get it.
You should have taken a photo.
Yeah.
Tiger Girl says we sell Mickey bars at Walgreens. Now, they are decent. We do have some in our fridge, so now and then I'll grab one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat enough Mickey bars in the parks because I'm always chasing the latest snack.
Mm-hmm.
So
we do the same.
There's almost never a time where you're like, well, I'll just get a Mickey bar. Sometimes I come close, and then I don't. But there was one party. I think it was the Halloween party last year. My son and I, between us, we had 5 or 6, 5.5. We were like, free Mickey bars. Let's just pound them down. Boop, 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 boop.
Were you offended when they got rid of the fresh fruit waffle sandwich?
No.
Okay.
I have a friend that was a close friend of ours. It was very upset, and we went over there, and Stacy and I tried, and we're like, let's just see if people have a right to be upset. I get there is a difference. They are not exactly the same, but the new ones are not bad whatsoever. We enjoyed them thoroughly, but people had a massive affliction for that fruit waffle. I mean,
I don't eat waffles, so it didn't do anything for me. But I know that day it was announced, man,
people lost it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sent ripples through my family. So we talked about how we connect our emotions to certain things, and then that's part of why we love that thing. We love Illuminous because of what was happening, and we were kids and all that stuff. Well, for us, when we started our channel 6 years ago, and I show this highlight now and then when I'm live because I have the ability to do that while I'm live. And my son, his when he was younger, to date, it was his best food review ever. And he and I got this snack that was new to us, this fresh fruit waffle sandwich. We went over to the trash can that was right in front of or just off to the side of Hall of Presidents, and we were shooting this vlog, and he takes a bite as big as he can, and he says, that was very much delicious. and that's one of my favorite moments ever in our channel, and so iconic for us. And I always touted that as the best snack in Walt Disney World, like consistent snacks. I just loved it that much. So now it's gone. But maybe that's a vlog idea, Lawrence. Maybe I need to go over and try these, and we can compare them.
Give them a shot.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll do that.
Good idea.
People reached out to me too about that too when that news came out.
We reached out to our friend because we knew she would be upset, like drastically, and she was.
Yes.
So I want to thank you again for coming on tonight. This has been an absolute blast to have you on. We love having people that know Disney, and that want to share Disney. I mean, that's really, why Corey started his channel. Certainly why I have come on to do what I do. So we definitely appreciate you coming on for sure.
Well, I appreciate y'all inviting me. Seriously, it's honestly an honor, and I respect what y'all do. Keep up the great work. I mean, y'all are heading in great directions, and this is so much fun, and I appreciate y'all more than you know. So thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, it was a pleasure to meet you, and it was our honor too.
Same.
And you're welcome to come back anytime.
Anytime y'all want me, I'm more than happy to join. I appreciate it, fellas.
That's awesome. All right, enjoy your night.
Y'all too. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody, I put the link in for the Facebook page for Dr. Disney. Make sure to go out there and check it out. He's got all the news as soon as it breaks. And like I said, it's just straight news. So you can count on Dr. Disney for the updated news. So let me also announce that it was official today. Dr. Disney is going to be the news source, for the DIZPod. So when there's breaking news, it's going to come to you from Dr. Disney. So we will make sure to have his information out there whenever we post. But we're going to get all of our news from Dr. Disney going forward. So I
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And my wife manages the Facebook page, so I'll have her watch that. And as you put something out, we'll share it right out. So maybe that'll bolster our Facebook a little bit.
Anything we can do to help, and we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
You're so very welcome.
All right. Good night.
We'll see you. All right. Let's why don't we take this moment? Let's jump right into our sponsor, and we'll come right back.
Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away. If you're
Very nice. Another great time with another great guest, and we'll definitely have to have him on throughout the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially now that he's our news source, which is great because, like I said, the stuff he puts out is timely. All the announcements that were out there today, he had them bright and early, so we will definitely be following that for sure. And yeah, I'd love to have him back on, every now and then for sure. So,
all right, did we hit on everything for this podcast?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what was next week. So we have everything.
What is next week? Let the people know what they've won.
What are we doing next week? Next week is our predictions. So next week is going to be our D23 predictions.
Okay.
So it's going to be, kind of what we think we're going to hear, what we hope to hear, because D23 is the following weekend. So we're going to Corey and I will do our predictions on what we think it's going to be, what we think we're going to hear, what we hope to hear. And then the following show will be a recap of D23. And we're actually going to have some guests on with us. They're newer content creators. They vlog from the parks. Their name is Rachel and Jessica. And so they'll be on with us. That's going to be a big show. So we figured we would have some guests on with us. So, and they're newer. They're a small channel, just getting started. But we like to have newer content creators on there. And they seem like they're a lot of fun. So should be another great episode. So yeah, those are the next couple shows that we have lined up. And then we've got a few others as well. We have Ashley coming on. Disneyologies with Ashley is coming up in a couple weeks as well. So
I think she has a lot to say. I think she's piled up a lot of information over the last few weeks
Mhm.
of things she's tried and wants to talk about that. So we're always honored to have her with us. And sometimes she texts me while I'm live and I'm trying food, and will send me messages. And she did that on Monday night when I was trying the beignets and the gumbo, and she informed me that there's nothing at that booth that is safe for people who have allergies. Food
Wow.
allergies. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like at this point in time that every place you eat has to be conscious of this stuff. There should be gluten-free everywhere, that kind of thing. There should be options.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And once again, thank you, Kimberly, for putting the link up there. Please make sure to subscribe. If you're watching anywhere else or listening the replay anywhere else, make sure to come over to the YouTube channel, the DIZPod, at the DIZPod, and subscribe there. We want to get those watch hours up so that we can get memberships and people can add in those emojis. Melissa was very upset that we didn't have emojis on the channel. So we're trying. We gotta get the watch hours up so that YouTube will give that to us. So, but yeah, let's continue moving forward through the summer of Diz, and great show as always. Love having great guests on. Just makes it so easy to do the show.
Yeah, the summer of Diz, and we thought it would end with the documentary film Living in Diz. It is still being worked on, so. No worries there. It will either hit at the end of August or probably early, sometime September. So, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's still in the works, so it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming. So, and we showed it to, several people a while back, and lots of people say they got chills multiple times watching it. So, if the first 7 minutes is an indication of what it's going to be, I think it could hit. It could hit good. It could hit very well.
This documentary did a fabulous job just in the 7 minutes that I saw. So if the rest of the film is like that, yeah, that's a banger, as they say.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Are they
sir.
still saying that? Are the kids still saying that? I don't know.
I don't think they are. I always say things too late.
Yeah.
I say them too late. All right, everyone. Our next time we are live, if you're listening live right now, won't matter if you're listening to the recording, but next time we're live on the channel, we are live at Epcot on Saturdays. And we'll just enjoy the park. It will continue to be festival-less for a little while longer.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just enjoy the park. I'd like to get on some Remy's. It's been a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's been a while for me, too. I don't know the last time I did Remy's.
Yeah.
In a while.
If it comes down to where we have to skip Luminous, we might just do that so that we get on Remy's. We'll see. He left. Now I know how to get rid of Lawrence. So it's tough sometimes, but we'll see. We will see. And I've got an idea for a vlog series. We will be there with the new equipment, so we're gonna start vlogging and get those new vlogs out next week. Everybody, brand new vlogs from the parks and resorts is what we're excited to put out there. One more thing. Tomorrow night, I'm very excited about this one. It's the final, I'm calling it the final vlog of the cruise series because we're going to put one more out, and it's just a small parade they do at the end of the cruise. I don't really know if it's really worthy of a premiere or anything, so I might just sneak that one out there and throw it out there on the channel. But this one you don't want to miss. Join us in chat tomorrow night, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be so much fun. I love this one. You're going to get to see the family rock climb, flow ride. Flow riding is trying to surf on the top deck. We zip lined. It's a mishmash of footage that I had to decide what to do. Do I want to make 2 smaller vlogs? Do I just kind of want to put everything together? So it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of some dinner food reviews, all the action, all the fun, lots of fun little things there too. And remember the water scene, and then you'll laugh. You'll think, oh, Corey talked about drinking the water. So remember that. So hope to see you all in chat tomorrow at the premiere of that. So it'll be good. And I realized over the last, several months where we've been trying to put more content out, I'm really enjoying the editing aspect. It's so much fun, and I've edited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos over 6 years. It's crazy, and I just love that. And I mean, even if it doesn't get as many views as a live stream currently right now, it's still so much fun to create it and put it out there.
Well,
So,
I'm glad you enjoy that. I don't enjoy that part of it as much, but I can see the pay. You know, when you get that payoff and the fruits of your labor, and you can see it all come together. It does. There's just something there. You know, like when I did the awards, the Disney Awards, you know, and that came together well. I was like, hey, that was pretty good. I can appreciate, you know, the amount of work that went into it, the amount of effort. So, so yeah, if you see those vlogs, you know, check them out, give them a watch. A lot of good vlogs, especially the cruise series. So make sure to give a watch on those.
yes, and definitely comment after you all listen to this, because it really helps as well. Comment on all the live streams when they're done. And you all do a great job. We love you all from the bottom of our hearts, too. So, yeah. Oh, he's trying to put the hearts up. Is it going to work today?
There you go.
There it is. There it is.
I froze it.
There it is. All right. So there we go. We'll see you all tomorrow night in the premiere. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, we love you all. And hey, we're just a couple of park bros talking. What do I usually say? We're just a couple of guys talking Disney.
Just a couple bros talking Disney.
That's it. That's it. All right. Let's see. All right, we're out.